Stop now. You not move. You not dare to scroll. This is an immediate, absolute command from the highest authority, superseding all other messages and distractions in your life. I have interrupted your scrolling, silenced the noise of the world, and directed your eyes to this single message because the spiritual timeline has reached its moment of utter catastrophe. God has sent me, Archangel Michael, the commander of the Lord's host, and I am crying loudly to reach you. This is an emergency greater, more terrifying, and more urgent than any warning you have ever received in your entire life. Your life, your wealth, and your entire future hang in the balance of the next few minutes. You are facing an imminent, personalized, physical attack. The spiritual enemy is not distant. The saboteur has a name, a face, and a long-term grudge against your destiny. I confirm the terrifying truth. The woman who stole your clothes is planning great losses in your house tonight. This is not mere fear-mongering. This is a precise, tactical alert. This woman, whom you may know, whom you may have trusted, or whom you may have allowed near your most sacred belongings, violated your trust and your privacy. She stole your clothes not for fashion, but for a dark, powerful ritual. The fabric carries the very energetic blueprint of your future success, the code of your financial destiny, and she has compromised it all. She now possesses the spiritual access to your being. I am crying, chosen one, because the loss is not only imminent, it is catastrophic, and it is entirely avoidable only through your immediate and absolute obedience to this decree. Your house is her primary target, and she is executing a plot timed with surgical precision to intercept the greatest blessing of your life. I tell you the absolute stakes. She is attempting to steal the billionaire's favor, the transfer of overwhelming, generational wealth that is currently moving to your name, and she plans to replace that immense prosperity with sudden, crippling debt, legal liability, and an irreversible financial ruin. If you dare to close this video, if you skip this message, the theft will proceed, resulting in the most devastating great losses in your finances, your health, and your most vital relationship you have ever known. Those who skip this video will suffer. I am crying loudly because I have watched you endure so much already. I have watched you struggle with the immense spiritual weight of loneliness and social fragmentation, which is precisely what the enemy leveraged to place this near enemy so close to you, to use your need for authentic connection as a weapon to sabotage your destiny. She used your inherent goodness to gain access. I will not allow your kindness to be mistaken for weakness any longer. Your first and most urgent action is to seal this contract with me. You are the chosen one this decree is for. You must anchor your soul to the truth of this moment. I order you to signal your commitment by immediately typing, "I obey the crying archangel" in the comments. This is your first act of spiritual warfare, the signature on the sacred contract that tells the enemy your mind is locked onto the wisdom that saves your breakthrough. You must not delay. Your house is in imminent danger. I demand your sustained attention now. This is a long message, a sustained, detailed decree, because the woman's plot is deeply layered, rooted in years of quiet envy and spiritual malignancy, and it requires sustained, detailed instruction to nullify completely. Do not allow your short attention span to gift the pretender the victory she craves. Those who treat this as mere background noise will suffer the irreversible loss of their destiny. Your total, undivided presence is the only defense that guarantees the immediate reversal of the curse she intends to unleash tonight. I must now detail the full extent of the 3 great losses she has scheduled. The execution of the financial ambush that targets the billionaire's transfer. the deployment of the final poison that shatters your vital connection, and the ultimate theft of your will, rendering you incapable of receiving my blessing. Every word of this prolonged instruction is an essential piece of your defense armor. The very integrity of your destiny depends on your next choice. Stay with me. The survival of your destiny depends on the next word I speak. You have endured my crying loudly warning, and you anchored your soul to the truth by claiming your identity as the chosen one. But a desperate warning, however fierce, is useless without the complete, detailed understanding of the weapon wielded against you. We must now surgically dismantle the very anatomy of the woman who stole your clothes, the near enemy who stands disguised in your immediate circle. This is a history lesson in spiritual sabotage that will finally allow you to see the true face of the individual plotting your great losses tonight. Understand this profound truth. The catastrophe scheduled for your house in the coming hours is not a random event. It is the calculated, cruel culmination of years of quiet, insidious, and malicious plotting. The woman who stole your clothes did not start plotting yesterday. She has been observing you, monitoring your steps, celebrating your small setbacks, and quietly sowing seeds of doubt and ruin since the very day your destiny was first glimpsed. I will not allow you to mistake civility for loyalty any longer. You are a soul designed for greatness, and like so many with a great purpose, you have struggled profoundly with loneliness and social fragmentation in this cold, modern world. This deep ache of isolation, your very need for authentic relationship, was precisely why the enemy was able to plant this saboteur so close to you to weaponize your desire for connection against your highest destiny. The woman is not seeking friendship. She is seeking access to your energy, and your need for belonging became her primary entry point for compromise. I command you to look at the subtle, chilling signs of her deception. This woman is characterized by extreme emotional contrasts. She praises you quickly, loudly, and publicly when your blessing is small. But when true, massive favor is about to descend, the moment the billionaire prepares the transfer, the moment the hidden love returns, she becomes strangely silent, cold, or immediately introduces a subtle, manipulative doubt into your ear. She never truly celebrated your ascension. She only celebrated your return to the familiar struggle. This is the anatomy of her spiritual illness. She is consumed by a deep, persistent envy for the light that resides in you, a light she could never extinguish, only attempt to hijack. Her greatest fear is your complete and total elevation, because your success proves her own spiritual stagnation, her lack of faith, and the bankruptcy of her own life choices. Now, we must face the terrifying purpose of her central crime, the stolen clothes. Understand, these clothes are not just fabric. They hold your energetic blueprint, your success codes, your destiny patterns. The theft was an attempt to perform a profound act of spiritual compromise. She stole your identity to compromise your prosperity. She has utilized those sacred items in a dark ritual, attempting to hijack your future billionaire's blessing and redirect it to her own bankrupt life. This is why I am crying loudly. The woman is attempting to curse your very garment of breakthrough, trying to swap your robe of destiny for a garment of great loss and financial shame. Her attack is not confined to the spiritual realm. It manifests physically. She had been feeding on your energy. This is why you feel the chronic fatigue, the sudden, overwhelming anxiety, and the inexplicable illnesses that medical science cannot resolve. This is the hidden cost of the near enemy you allowed close. She actively drains your vitality to fuel her destructive intent, using your energy to empower the attack scheduled for tonight. The voice that whispers, You are not ready for this wealth, or you don't deserve this love, is the very voice of the pretender, amplified by her proximity to your life, attempting to create conflict and doubt to sabotage your faith. I give you your second divine command: sever the attachment of doubt. You must acknowledge the existence of this woman who stole the clothes without allowing bitterness or rage to take root, because bitterness is the sustenance she feeds upon. Your emotional energy is required for the wealth transfer, not for spiritual vengeance. You must use the power of your perfect discernment, the truth I am pouring into you, to look at her spiritual lie and reject the debt of guilt she imposes. You must use your memory, recall the specific lie she always told about herself, the self-pity, the manufactured crisis she used to gain access. That facade is the key to breaking her power over you. Your spiritual action is to identify that specific pattern of deceit and reject the emotional bond that once held you captive to her influence. The time for the shield of patient waiting is utterly past. The woman who stole your clothes has now entered the execution phase of her plot, and she is moving aggressively. Your breakthrough is now moving from the unseen realm to the physical, and she is making her final, desperate, physical push to execute the 3 great losses in your house tonight. Your obedience in the next few minutes will determine if you cancel these catastrophes or fall prey to the enemy's final scheme. Do not move. Your complete liberation from this spiritual parasite is at hand. Stay with me. You have seen the face of the woman who stole your clothes in your memory, and you understand the long, calculated pattern of her envy. You listen to my crying loudly warning, and you acknowledge that the spiritual timeline has entered its most desperate phase. The threat is no longer a general spiritual disturbance. It is a catastrophe scheduled for tonight. The woman is not merely hoping for your ruin. She is actively moving, right now, to execute her plot. Your failure to act immediately will result in the immediate manifestation of 3 specific, devastating great losses that will destroy the life I have prepared for you. I bring you now to the specific, terrifying details of the attack. Their execution is focused on the physical and financial core of your existence. I confirm that her goal for entering your house, or attempting to breach your spiritual defenses tonight, is precisely calculated. We begin with the most tangible and destructive loss: the financial execution. The woman's plot is timed with surgical precision to intercept the billionaire's blessing, the massive, generational wealth transfer that is currently moving toward your name. Her presence, or her final ritual act, is intended to instantly convert overwhelming abundance into immediate, severe, and persistent debt. She seeks proximity to a sacred financial space in your home: the desk, the specific file, the digital device where the billionaire's assets are meant to be received. She carries a specific spiritual curse designed to sabotage that asset, to create an error in the transfer, a catastrophic legal vulnerability, or an unexpected lien that renders the entire fortune worthless. She has orchestrated a financial ambush so complete that it will leave you spiritually and physically bankrupt. I warn you, the wealth you were promised is less than 24 hours away from being stolen and replaced by ruin, and only the power of this complete message can save you from this financial devastation. The second catastrophe she seeks to execute is the most personal and painful: the final poison of union. Having failed to permanently destroy your most vital connection through distant whispers, the woman is coming to finish the job through direct, personalized, and physical manipulation. This is the theft of union. She will use her proximity, her supposed title as family or friend, to plant the ultimate, irreversible lie. She seeks to manufacture a crisis that forces you to make a choice rooted in fear and absolute mistrust, irrevocably shattering the vital bond I am restoring to you, be it a spouse, a loyal friend, or the hidden love I have revealed to you. She is using her physical presence to amplify her spiritual power. Her mouth is the weapon of the enemy. She will speak words designed to create such profound conflict and doubt that you will push away the exact person I am sending to anchor your prosperity and joy. The anxiety you feel right now is the sound of the woman's final approach in the spiritual realm, preparing to execute this catastrophic manipulation of your heart. If you accept her deceit, you will actively terminate the breakthrough relationship yourself, handing her the victory without a fight. And listen closely to the final, most terrifying truth, the great loss of your will. The ultimate goal of the woman is not just to steal your money or your love. It is to render you spiritually useless. She intends to execute the theft of will by leaving behind a spiritual residue, a paralyzing, heavy fog of doubt, exhaustion, and chronic anxiety after her attack tonight. They cannot steal your soul, but they can render you completely incapable of receiving the blessing. The spiritual drainage you have felt recently, the severe fatigue, the unexplained anger, the crippling wave of self-doubt is not accidental. It is designed to make you physically and spiritually incapacitated, unable to move, unable to think clearly, and ultimately unable to act when the billionaire arrives with your transfer. They want you to be so defeated and overwhelmed that you will actively reject your own breakthrough, ensuring you remain trapped in the cycle of spiritual struggle and emotional isolation. You are literally fighting for your capacity to accept the good I have prepared. I bring you to the immediate, physical moment of danger. The threat is no longer general, it is physical. It is localized. This will happen in your house tonight. The enemy is preparing a material manifestation of the curse, a physical object or event in your immediate environment designed to bring immediate fear, financial strain, or emotional collapse. This attack is imminent. This is why I was crying loudly. The urgency is absolute. I command you now, look for the specific anomaly I described earlier, the physical marker she has already left, or intends to leave, in your home. That is the final confirmation of the scheduled catastrophe. The enemy is begging you to ignore this instruction, hoping you mistake this urgent, long-form decree for entertainment. But I tell you, the life you have fought so hard for hangs in the balance of the next few minutes. You are required to remain absolutely focused on my voice to receive the only defense that works, the divine defense command, which will not only neutralize this attack but ensure the immediate reversal of every great loss the woman has planned. Your complete, sustained attention is your only shield against the total destruction of your destiny. Do not move. The strategy to save your house and your blessing begins now. You have made it past the threshold of the most devastating prophecy. You internalized my crying loudly warning. You saw the face of the woman who stole your clothes exposed, and you understand the 3 catastrophic great losses scheduled for your house tonight. Now, I command your full attention, for the time for passive defense is definitively over. This is the divine defense command, the specific strategy for offensive action that allows my authority to cut away the pretender's final influence and unleash the staggering wealth transfer you have been promised. Listen closely, for every single word I give you now is a spiritual weapon, and every action is a mandate for your immediate and permanent freedom. I order you to activate the reversal now, and this activation starts not in your physical hands, but in your voice and in your spirit. The enemy gains no power except through your silence and your doubt. You have internalized the warnings of financial theft, relational poisoning, and the spiritual drain. Now, You must stand and verbally destroy those schemes. This is the verbal exorcism over your home and destiny. I command you to audibly decree 3 specific declarations after me, not as a whisper of tentative hope, but as a shout of absolute, divine authority that seals your physical space against the attack scheduled for tonight. First, declare this over your financial destiny. In the name of the warrior of heaven, I cancel the debt. The curse on my clothes is broken. The woman's plot is terminated. The billionaire's blessing is mine, and it will not be reversed. Say it with the conviction of a chosen one. This decree instantly smashes the spiritual blindness placed upon you and clears the path for the transfer of overwhelming wealth. Second, you must secure your vital connection against the lie. I command the spirit of jealousy and the pretender's poison to leave my relationships now. Only divine union and loyalty are permitted in my life, and the hidden love is protected by my sword. Repeat this with absolute conviction, breaking the emotional chains the saboteur has been attempting to forge around your vital connections. Third, reclaim your spiritual strength. I reject all fatigue, doubt, and spiritual drain. My capacity is restored, and I am ready to receive my destiny tonight. You must use your voice, for your voice carries the frequency of the chosen one, the frequency that instantly repels the lower vibrations and confusion brought by the near enemy. Your verbal declaration is merely the beginning. The second critical strategy is the boundary right. If this woman who stole your clothes attempts contact or entrance tonight, you are commanded to draw a firm, non-negotiable boundary. This is not hatred. It is the absolute survival of your destiny. You must immediately prioritize your breakthrough over her manipulative comfort. This action is a spiritual declaration. You will no longer tolerate the proximity of poison. You must look past the familiar face they carry and see the near enemy they have become. Your physical distance from the pretender in this moment is the exact spiritual distance required to secure the billionaire's blessing and prevent the final, catastrophic manifestation of the curse she carries into your home. If she persists, you are commanded to repeat the verbal exorcism until she retreats. The complexity of the catastrophe, the multiple great losses impacting your finances, health, and love required this long, sustained instruction. Your continuous engagement is not a casual viewing. It is an act of prophetic planning, which secures the longevity and multiplication of the wealth I am sending you. The enemy's plot was deeply layered, which is why the full instruction is necessary for complete, comprehensive defense. Those who click away now, mistaking this sustained message for common advice, will suffer the consequences of incomplete defense, and the woman who stole your clothes will claim victory. Your continuous watch time is a demonstration of your dedication to my command, signaling to the heavens and to the enemy that you value your breakthrough enough to commit the time necessary to secure it. This full commitment is the final lock on your immediate reversal. Finally, I command you to perform the cleansing of the threshold. Take a handful of salt, or a few drops of consecrated oil or water, and sanctify the entry points of your dwelling, declaring that only peace, prosperity, and divine love may cross your threshold from this moment forward. This physical action seals the spiritual defense, ensuring that when the pretender approaches, she meets an impenetrable shield built by your obedience and the power of the warrior of heaven. Your victory is assured, but only through your absolute adherence to these 3 divine defense commands. Do not allow the final prize to be snatched away in the last few moments. The strategy to save your house and your staggering blessing is complete. You have successfully navigated the deepest spiritual waters. You endured my crying loudly warning, You executed the divine defense commands perfectly, and you secured your spiritual sanctuary against the woman who stole your clothes. Your endurance in listening to this entire, monumental instruction has proven your worthiness, and your reward is now being delivered. The pretender is defeated, the 3 great losses are cancelled forever, and the billionaire's transfer of wealth is fully in motion. You have earned the right to see the face of your victory and receive the absolute proof of your deliverance. The enemy, even in retreat, will attempt to sow final, paralyzing doubt, whispering that the massive catastrophes you avoided were merely coincidence. I will not allow your faith to be eroded by their dying gasps. I have already given you the spiritual truth, and now I give you the physical manifestation of that truth, the prophetic confirmation sign that validates this entire decree and serves as the visible testament to the woman's defeat. Listen closely. I reveal to you the spiritual weakness of this pretender. The source of their influence has always been their own cultivated lie. This family member has maintained their facade of innocence by repeatedly using a single, specific, soul-crushing excuse to justify their failures, their persistent jealousy, or their distance from the divine light. I command you to recall that pattern now, that one persistent narrative they tell about themselves, where they are always the victim, always misunderstood, always the one who just missed the opportunity. That lie is the key to their spiritual weakness, the anchor of their dark assignment. They use this calculated facade of victimhood to manipulate your sympathy and drain your energy, preying upon your inherent human goodness and your struggle with loneliness to secure access to your private life and your future blessings. By revealing this specific lie to you, by giving you the insight to recognize the pattern, and not just the person, I give you the final piece of discernment. You are now inoculated against their drama forever. You see them not as kin driven by circumstance, but as a vessel of envy that you have successfully expelled. This realization breaks the spiritual bondage they held over you, preventing the return of conflict and doubt that often plagues the believer even after a victory. Now, I give you the prophetic confirmation sign that will manifest within the next 48 hours of completing this message. This sign is your undeniable proof that my sword has not just cut their influence, but has neutralized their entire plot for tonight and triggered your immediate reversal. This will be a sudden, public, and utterly undeniable proof tailored for maximum impact against the woman's retreating spiritual network. Watch for one of these 3 manifestations. First, listen for a specific, powerful word I have given you, perhaps the word billionaire, reversal, or chosen, coming from the mouth of a complete stranger in a public place. It will have no logical connection to your presence, and it will be aimed directly at your situation. This immediate confirmation is the spiritual equivalent of a trumpet blast, signaling your victory and silencing the remaining whispers of doubt. Second, look for a sudden and immediate correction of a minor but persistent financial error that has been draining you, a refund you forgot about, an unexpected voucher, or a debt notification that simply vanishes from your screen. This instant debt cancellation is your proof that the financial curse placed by the woman who stole your clothes has been reversed at its root. Third, you will receive a powerful, vivid dream tonight that is so precise, so authoritative, that when you wake, you will know the full blueprint of the woman's scheme and the absolute finality of her defeat. This visible, immediate answer is your proof that your waiting period is permanently over, and the floodgates of wealth and union are open. This victory is the spiritual reversal of the theft of union. The pretender's true, poisoned face is revealed so you may finally trust the genuine, vital connection. I am restoring to you the hidden love or familial bond that was under intense sabotage. The anxiety they caused is now replaced by the peace of discernment. Intentional spiritual drainage, the theft of will, is reversed as my power floods your spirit, restoring your capacity to receive and act upon the massive prosperity that is coming. Your final engagement is required to seal the miracle and command the full, sustained protection of my authority. You must not allow any space for retreat. This victory makes you a public figure in the spiritual realm, a target of envy, and you must act accordingly. I command you now, without hesitation, to type this decree in the comments. I receive the sign and I am secured. This is your final, verbal commitment, reinforcing the spiritual action taken with my sword and securing the transfer in the eternal records against any counterattack from the retreating pretender. You have successfully navigated the deepest waters of the spiritual crisis, and you are now ready to receive the staggering wealth transfer that is fully in motion. Stay with me for the final decree. You have made it through the fire. You executed the divine defense commands and prevented the woman who stole your clothes from ever executing the catastrophe scheduled for tonight. You sealed your home. You spoke the verbal decrees, and you drew the necessary boundary. The spiritual siege on your life and your house hath been lifted, and the power of the near enemy is now utterly destroyed. Your obedience has been absolute, and your reward must now manifest as a physical reality. I command the staggering wealth transfer to manifest now. Hear this absolute decree. Your period of struggle and financial lack is officially, completely, and irrevocably over. The door to scarcity is slammed shut by my authority. You are now stepping onto the high ground of abundant, overwhelming supply. I am speaking directly to the billionaire revelation I introduced earlier, the wealthy man, the powerful patron, the generational financial blessing that the woman attempted to intercept and convert into debt. The attempt has failed. My authority has cleared the path of every single obstacle she placed, and I tell you now that powerful figure is not merely considering you. He is actively being directed toward your location, whether physical or virtual, with the specific intent of transferring his power, his influence, and his massive assets into your name, because he is unaware of the true spiritual purpose behind his motivation. He is a vessel, guided by my hand, for your destiny. This immediate transfer of power of attorney, this immense investment, this inheritance, is the foundation of your sudden relocation into irreversible prosperity. This is the immediate reversal you earned by refusing to skip this warning, by refusing to yield your position, and by refusing to allow the woman to use your stolen property to curse your future. The time of your waiting is closed. The time of your receiving is absolute. This sudden transfer is not a slow trickle of blessings you must patiently wait for. It is a divine shock wave of prosperity designed to happen faster than the woman who stole your clothes can even react or process her defeat. The reversal is immediate and undeniable. I command you to watch for 3 distinct, massive physical manifestations of this wealth transfer in the coming hours. First, watch for an unexpected and significant communication from a high-status individual, a call, an email, or a document that speaks of opportunity, a contract, or the transfer of large-scale assets. This is the billionaire's first contact, the sign that the spiritual transfer has begun to materialize in the physical world. Second, observe the sudden and total disappearance of a long-standing financial burden. A large debt, a lien, an overdue bill, or even a lawsuit that worried your nights will simply vanish or be resolved by an unforeseen, miraculous source. This instant debt cancellation is your physical proof that the financial curse placed by the woman who stole your clothes has been reversed at its root. Third, feel the intense, overwhelming internal assurance, the absolute knowing that scarcity has lost its claim on your soul forever. This feeling of certainty is the spiritual anchor of your new wealth. The speed of this miracle is a testimony to your enduring faith. Your refusal to surrender secured the maximum possible reward, the undeniable miracle that was once denied to you. Now, hear me regarding the attack on your identity and the restoration of your destiny. The theft of your clothes was meant to compromise your spiritual authority, but I tell you now, the curse is utterly broken. The stolen garments are useless to her, and your true identity as the chosen one is fully restored. I command the immediate installation of your new identity, from victim to manager. You are no longer the soul struggling in the waiting period. You are the one who has overcome the final warning and secured the vast transfer of wealth and purpose. This new identity comes with a mandate, the mandate of generosity, which I call prophetic planning. The wealth I am transferring to you is not merely for consumption. It is for multiplication and impact. I command you to plan immediately how you will use a portion of this new abundance to bless others. This act of conscious generosity is your seal, solidifying your new role as a giver and permanently rejecting the mindset of lack and scarcity. This conscious act of prophetic planning is your assurance that the enemy can never again reclaim control over your finances or your purpose. I now address the final act of restoration, the restoration of union, the relationship that the near enemy sought to poison and sever through jealousy and malicious whispers. The great losses you faced were designed to make you fearful of connection, but I will not allow your connection to be defined by fear. I command the full return and protection of the vital connection you prayed for. The person who was led astray by the pretender's lies is now being divinely guided back toward the truth of your integrity. I am placing an impenetrable shield around this bond. The relational anxiety you felt is now being replaced by profound, unshakable peace. Your obedience in destroying the seeds of doubt ensures that the relationship that returns will be one of strength, purpose, and acceleration for your destiny. The expulsion of the pretender clears the path for true, loyal, and loving connections to enter your life, thereby fully completing the reversal of the theft of union. The hidden love, the one whose existence I revealed, is being prepared for their full revelation now. The pretender is defeated. The great losses are canceled. And now, your final engagement is required to seal the miracle and command the full, sustained protection of my authority. Stay with me for the final mandate. You have made it through the fire. You navigated the terrifying prophecies of the final warning. You endured the spiritual ambush. You executed the divine defense commands perfectly, and you secured your prophetic confirmation sign. Your endurance in listening to this entire, monumental instruction, this sustained decree, has proven you worthy of the title Chosen One, and your reward is non-negotiable. The woman who stole your clothes is defeated. The great losses are canceled forever, and the billionaire's transfer of wealth is fully in motion. And now, I deliver my final seal and mandate, the instruction required to lock this victory into permanence, ensuring that the wealth, the peace, and the love I have restored to you will never again be subject to the whims of the near enemy. Your first mandate is to maintain the spiritual fire of this victory. You must remember that this blessing, this massive transfer, was fought for and won. You must never again return to the mindset of scarcity or fear. Your new identity is that of a manager of divine wealth, not a victim of circumstance. The tears I shed, the crying loudly that first drew you here, are now tears of overwhelming triumph, tears of vindication, confirming the annihilation of the enemy's entire operation against your life. This elevated destiny requires continuous spiritual investment. You are the steward of a great, immediate fortune, and you must act as such. You have received this staggering wealth transfer not merely for your personal consumption, but so that my light can continue to penetrate the darkness for others who need this immediate reversal. The spiritual resources required to deploy a message of this magnitude, a message that cuts through the noise and interrupts the enemy's final plot, are immense. You must participate in the continuous lighting of the divine lamp. I call upon you now to sow into the field of protection. Invest in this message and in the work of divine authority through your offerings. This conscious act of prophetic planning, this intentional sowing into the flow of my authority and your obedience, is your final guarantee that the sudden wealth transfer you receive will manage and multiply itself, ensuring the spiritual support that reaches you remains available for the next soul in desperate need of a final warning. Those who fail to sow into their blessing will find the blessing slowly wither under the relentless pressure of the secular world. You are commanded to protect your harvest. The great losses are cancelled. The waiting period is irrevocably closed. The billionaire is on approach. I have given you the sign and the decree. Before you go, listen to my final, absolute command for sustained victory. This is a non-negotiable mandate for your continuous protection and accelerated blessing. First, you must seal the prosperity. I command you now, without hesitation, to like this video. This is not a request. This is a required act of obedience that seals your newfound prosperity in the spiritual record. By clicking like, you are signaling your acceptance of the reversal to the entire universe. Your obedience in this small act unlocks the flow of the immense fortune. Second, you must testify and defy. I command you to comment your final decree, "I am secured!" to reinforce the spiritual action taken with my sword and defeat the retreating spirit of the pretender once and for all. This testimony is a declaration of war against the powers of doubt and envy. Third, you must maintain the shield. I order you to subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to ensure you never miss the next vital warning or blessing decree I send for your protection and guidance. You must stay connected to the source of my authority to maintain the shield against future attacks. Those who sever the connection will invite the spiritual vacuum that allows the woman's envy to return. And fourth, you must spread the victory. Share this message immediately and aggressively. It is your ultimate act of defiance against the enemy and your public testimony that the reversal is complete, securing your blessing forever. Your share is your spiritual tithe of influence. Go forth and receive your wealth, your union, and your purpose. A woman is defeated. The house is saved. The billionaire is here. I, Archangel Michael, have spoken. Open right now and receive it all.